MMAOddsBreaker Frank Trigg. Today we're talking to Steve Montgomery, getting ready to fight Brock Jardine, coming up here on TFC 31, Halloween night in Tampa, Florida. You're down to training in you're in Boca, right? Boca Raton?
Yep, I live in Boca, which is like 5 minutes from Coconut Creek.
Yeah, so it's American Top Team, obviously, is your camp.
Yeah.
I was looking at Brock's record a little bit ago. You're 7-2. He's 9-4. He's on a 3-fight slide, a 3-fight losing slide. Do you think that's going to make him a little bit more dangerous this fight, or do you think he's kind of now gotten to that space where he's okay? Losses are just something that are just going to happen for me.
I think you're a smart man. I think he's going to be dangerous. I think he's going to be hungry. You know, it's different if he's, a little bit older and he's losing to, up-and-comers. But he just lost to, 3 tough dudes, 2 in the UFC. I think he took the Rick Story fight on short notice, so that's always tough. And he's only 29, so I'm sure he's looking at me as like an essential step up to like crush me, get back to a bigger show, or get back on the win streak. So I know he's coming in like to try to take my head off.
You're 6'4", he's about 5'11". There's obviously a huge reach advantage from your side. 5 inches in height reach as well.
Yeah.
Obviously, obvious choice for if anybody that knows anything about the game, they'll look at your style, look at his style. It's going to be obvious. You're going to want to try and keep him on the outside, keep him away from you a little bit because he's a wrestler. He's going to try and tie you up and slow you down. Is there anything else in there that I'm missing, kind of just a generalized game plan for this fight? He's going to try and get inside and attack. You're going to try and keep him on the outside and make him chase you.
It's funny you mentioned that because like I always at the gym, that's like what we talk about is like I like to have a dangerous outside game, but honestly, man, like you said, everybody knows that a tall guy wants to keep another guy on the outside. So it's almost the question of like, is the tall guy going to land long, lanky punches, or is he going to get Eiffel Towered over with a big overhand right when the guy closes the distance? And I personally like despise being that guy with the head flopping back, I hate that. So I really, really work hard to make my clinch game super dangerous. I mean, I don't want my height to limit anything I do. I want explosive wrestling, body locks. Like I would feel bad telling my game plan away, but honestly, I feel really good in all of it. So I feel like I can do it all. Like if he comes inside, it's very dangerous. I have a lot of weapons, really good elbows, really hard knees, really good clinch. And, I get a lot of good work with a lot of good wrestlers. So I feel my hips feel comfortable with a really strong guy trying to lock down on him. I mean, not to say, I'm impenetrable, but I definitely am comfortable on the inside too.
Well, just as MMA as a whole and the way it's developed and progressed over the last couple of years, you can't really fight with just an outside game anymore. You have to be good off your back. You have to be good on top just because of the progression. With that being said, what was the toughest portion of the progression for you to really get comfortable with? Because everyone's got a different style and everyone likes things differently and kind of gravitate to things a little differently. What was the toughest style for you to kind of gravitate to go, okay, now I'm comfortable with this?
Definitely the wrestling, probably. Just being taller, and South Carolina kind of sucked for wrestling. My time, they didn't have a team. So I remember, it's funny, like in 2007 and 8 when I started watching and training, I was like, man, like all these guys are pretty good wrestlers or at least have strong tackles. They could do something. I got to work on my wrestling. So when I got down here, I started working the wrestling. That was probably the hardest because it's such a different pace. It's a different mindset of you don't stop. But the wrestling made everything else in my grappling game better. Even my jiu-jitsu off the bottom, I don't ever have to quit. It's like I just keep moving. Even if he locks me down here, my legs are working to hook his ankle. You're always moving, always moving. So the wrestling definitely was the hardest to grasp, but I think it gave my whole game overall more. Everything's more consistent. Even the kickboxing, I feel I can last longer because of the wrestling cardio.
Who are some of you said you've been working with a lot of wrestlers down there at ATT? Who are some of the wrestlers you've been working with?
A good bit with Colby Covington, Nathan Coy. There's times I've been able to drill with Steve Mocco a lot. And when he works with some of the heavyweights who have tall guys to fight. And Kami Barzini is our wrestling coach, and he's really good, man. He's old school, but he's so smart that he's brought it into the new school. He's really good. And then I've gotten to drill a lot of wrestling with Pitbull. So you get Thiago Alves, you get strong partners too. I'm trying to think. There's so many other wrestlers, man. There's just a lot of them wandering around there. Sometimes you won't even know who they are. and they're, you know, an NCAA this or Pat champion that, and you're like, what? Like, that's why that guy is all over my head for 15 minutes.
Do you walk out of practice sometimes like just beat up so bad you're like, why am I even doing this? Because the American Top Team room it's pretty stiff. There's really not that many guys that are on the lower levels of the rankings. Like pretty much every there is an upper guy.
Yeah, they're all tough, and when you're, you know, when you're moving and working, it's like, I don't know, you feel like the energy there. Like you feel like everything you do, if no one says something to you like don't do that, then it must be right. So like it's almost like you're like working on your handwriting with the teacher right over your shoulder all the time. So that's really, you know, good. But I used to walk out of there beat up, but now I've gotten so used to it. And it's not that, and I don't beat up my body so much anymore. I have a lot of really good partners and like a good set of guys that help me out, that are always like, you know, they're responsive. If my body's hurting, they won't do me 6 rounds that day. They'll go, you just chill, maybe, you know, take an extra round off. Like it's concerned with prolonging it. You know, they've been around so long, they've dealt with the injuries and stuff like that. So now it's like, we're trying to train smarter, you know, less rounds when you don't need it. Now it's only 2 weeks before the fight, so it's just training for fun. I drill my wrestling pretty hard, but it's all customized takedown. The guy knows what I'm doing, you know, and then the sparring will be with guys who know exactly who I'm fighting. So you're getting a lot of good sparring work. I think I did 32 rounds last week of just punching, working with guys who were doing what he was going to do, or at least thought what he was going to do. So it's getting really specific there.
When you walk into a, you know, middle of training camp, you walk into a day and you're like, wow, it's a sparring day, but I'm kind of beat up, I'm kind of sore. You said you just kind of sit against the, you know, you do the warm-up and the technical part, and then you kind of back out of the sparring. Is there something else that you do instead of just sitting there and watching the sparring happening and not being a part of it?
Oh, yeah, like, and that's the thing, too. For example, I'll do the first 4 sparring rounds hard, and I mean, you know, going. You're trying to courteously take each other's heads off, you know, and work new stuff, and then when it comes to the grappling rounds, I might sit out from one of the grappling rounds, and I'll just sit there and ground and pound a dummy and just work a pace, or maybe have like, actually King Mo's really good about it. King Mo does this drill where it's like, that's another wrestler I forgot about. He's helped a lot. And you'll be on a bag punching, and he's just on your hip trying to yank you off, trying to yank you off, constantly pulling at your ankles, and it's annoying, but it's a good drill.
Yeah,
really.
It definitely teaches you good core balance and good stability, because that's the reality of a fight. Like, he's going to be trying to knock you off. He's going to be bucking and moving.
Yeah.
It gives you
free. You know, you gotta pay the toll to get the ground and pound. Especially with a guy like Brock, he's gonna be moving on the ground.
Yeah, the entire time. Well, that's Steve Montgomery. He's getting ready to fight Brock Jardine, coming up here in Titan Fighting Championships 31, October 31st, Halloween night in the Sundome in Tampa, Florida. Before we let you out of here, is there anything you want to say to your friends, your family, your fans out there?
Well, thank you for having me, man. It's awesome to talk to you. I've been watching you for a long time, doing a lot of good interviews and commentating. And thanks to my parents, my mom and dad, I know they're going to be stoked watching this. All my friends and family, everyone at American Top Team in the Florence Fight Farm, all my supporters, all my sponsors, my manager, my chiropractor, everybody knows who they are. Love you guys. Thank you.
Thanks to you. Appreciate it, bud. We'll definitely talk to you after this fight's over. We'll catch up again.
Appreciate it, Frank. Thank you, man. Have a great night.
You too.